these demonstrations in solidarity with Palestine have been quite regular here in Leeds City Centre.
Yeah.
What's different this week than the rest of the weeks?
So this week on Saturday we're having a themed protest, and the theme is the watermelon, and this is because a group of us who are artists, theatre makers, poetry people, script makers wanted to say, how can we as storytellers keep telling this story in a different, engaging, creative way, and how can we bring our skills to this movement? And as you say, the protests have been happening week in, week out as this horrific genocide goes on. I think, unfortunately, it's really easy for the general public to become immune to the violence that they're seeing on their screens every day, and it's so difficult. I understand why some people find it hard to engage. So that's our job as artists, to go, well, how can we keep people's interest, find ways that are different routes in that might cause someone who hasn't been thinking about this issue or doesn't think it's relevant to them, and tell this story in a different way. So that's why we're using the symbol of the watermelon, which is a long-standing symbol of Palestinian culture, heritage, resilience, resistance, and we're being colourful and theatrical. We're trying to create a bit of a spectacle today, in the hope that some shoppers might go, yeah, okay, that's an angry mob. There's the usual chants, but they're carrying a 6-foot inflatable watermelon. What's that? And they Google watermelon in Palestine and see that there's a story to this, and perhaps learn something that they didn't already know about Palestine. Ultimately, I think it's just so important that we keep talking about what's happening in Palestine, in Gaza and the West Bank. We keep being vessels for Palestinian stories and listening to the Palestinian voices, and being, repeating those stories ourselves. But also, do you know what? These marches in Leeds have been so family friendly. They've been so led by young people, by children, by women. And so to be colourful and vibrant, that really suits the nature of what we're trying to do here.
And what message do you wish to convey with today's march to, Leeds, the wider?
Well, ultimately, the main campaigning aim is to call for a ceasefire in the strongest possible terms, and to stop any arms trade licensing, to stop funding this genocide. If we as the British government and British companies are selling weapons and making profit out of weapons that we know are committing war crimes, then we have a responsibility to say, no, we're not going to spend our taxpayers' money and our global influence to allow that atrocity to commit. And then beyond that, of course, everyone here wants to see a free Palestine, wants to see an end to the military occupation, wants to see an end to the siege, and that every Palestinian has the same rights as we want everyone in the world to have, so that those young people who are born in Gaza, in the West Bank, have a future that is full of creativity and heritage and joy and exploration, just as every young person around the world has the right to.
And you sort of touched upon this, but why is it important that these demonstrations keep happening as they have, and that they continue to happen?
So I think in all movements, it's important that we keep going. And, you can look at all sorts of different social justice movements across the history, but going back to civil rights movement in America, nothing ever changes overnight, and it is only through consistently people demonstrating their politics physically with their bodies on the streets, with positive messages, with placards, with colourful clothing, with whatever they want to do. That is how movements grow. And also movements happen by everyone bringing their skills and contributing their skills to whatever the movement is. So as an artist, I'm trying to bring my creativity and my my theatrical nature to but it might be that someone's really good at admin and loves spreadsheets, or it might be that someone's fantastic, loves cycling, so they're going to cycle for Palestine. It's whatever it is that you're good at, bringing that together and contributing those skills is really important.
And just last question, do you also have a message to the people of Palestine?
To the people of Palestine, you do not think that for 1 second you are going unheard or unseen by people around the world, and there are millions of people out on the streets hearing your stories and hearing your voices, and we are doing everything we can possibly do to create a free Palestine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
I got emotional.
You're so good at interviews as well. That was one of the best.
I've done 1 or 2 in my time. Is that all right?